Good evening. My today's topic is about plant. Now you must have seen that plants are growing, they are moving. You must be very surprised that how do they move, because plants are stuck in one position, but no, they are also having coordination in their body part. They need control in their body part, like animals, like human beings, like us. And as you know that in a human being, there are so many hormones which are actually activating, and they are the major part in some coordination and control in our body, like nervous system. They actually help the nervous system to control and coordinate also. Nervous system in human being are the main organizer of control and coordination, but there is endocrine system, that is the hormonal system, which also help side by side in control and coordination. But in plants there are no nervous system, no such nervous system by which they can control and coordinate in their body activities. So how do they control and coordinate? Now you must be astonished that what type of control and coordination plants do need. They need control and coordination. You must have seen that from a seed, the root portion and the shoot portion will be grown. That is the growth of seed, and to have that growth they need control and coordination. And such examples are so many in plants life, like you must have seen that the embryo, from embryo the seeds will form, and then also so many different activities are there in plant's body. You must have seen the tendril that is rounding about a tree, which is strong than the first plant. So how that tendril will grow around the tree, that is control and coordination in plant. And this coordination, this growth coordination is done by some hormones in plants, and those hormones are known as phytohormones. Plant hormones are actually called phytohormones in science. So if we ask that what is the definition of phytohormones, they are actually organic material. They are organic substance produced naturally in plants which control growth and other physiological functions at a site away from the place of synthesis. Now what does that mean? Hormones, plant hormones are some organic substances. They are some organic substances which are produced naturally. They are produced in plant naturally, and they actually control growth, as I have said you, from the seed, root will be grown and shoot will be grown. This is a growth. So such growth is actually controlled by the hormones which are organic and they are naturally produced in plants, and they control growth and other physiological functions. Other physiological functions are also controlled by these hormones, where at a site away from the place of synthesis, the place where it is synthesized, it will function away from that site, away from that site. As I have told you that in human being also there is endocrine system. There also you can notice that the hormones are produced in a place and they function in another place, and that place is known as target site. Target site of that hormone, they will function to that site. So in plant also they are synthesized in one place and they will function in another place. I will discuss it with example later on, but first of all you have to know the definition. What is hormone? Plant hormone. They are organic material, they are organic substances actually, produced naturally. They are naturally produced. We don't have to put any material or any chemical to the plant so that they can synthesize hormone. It is natural in plant. So the hormones are produced naturally in plants which control growth and other physiological functions. At a site where away from the place of synthesis, the place where it is synthesized, there it can't function. It will function away from that site. That means they will function in another site. So this is the definition of plant hormone. Now it is plant hormones are generally active in small concentration. That means the concentration, the place, the part of plant body where it is having high concentration, it will not active there. It will be active in the opposite side. That means where the concentration level is low. It active in small concentration. It will active where the concentration is small. This is very astonishing fact about plant hormone, that it is active in small concentration where the concentration of that hormone is less, and where it is high it will not active there. Capable of influencing promotion, inhibition, modification of growth. Promotion, it will promote growth. Inhibition, it can slow the growth. It can modify the growth. It can modify the growth. Now let's discuss about promote. Means it will promote the growth. Inhibition means it will slow the growth. Modification means it will modify any part of the plant. As I have told you that you must have seen that some plants, some weak plants are standing with the support of a big or large plant. How? They are having tendril, and that tendril is moving around that large plant, strong plant, and with the help of that weak plant can stand. So that tendril portion is a modification of leaf, and this modification, this is growth, but this is modified growth, and this modification is actually done by hormones. capable of influencing promotion of growth, inhibition of growth. Now you must be shocked that how inhibition how it can lower, because sometimes it is needed that the cell should be matured, and after maturation it can't be grown, it can't grow after maturation, and that inhibition is done by the plant hormones. Now you must understand that how inhibition is a part of job of hormone, because sometimes we need mature cell. If the cell is not matured, you can't get the fruit. The plant can't give fruit if the cells are not matured, because fruit is the full grown cell of a plant. So that maturity of cell is very much necessary in some cases, and then only there the growth should be stopped, and that inhibition is done by hormone. And promoting, you know that hormones are promoting growth, they are helping in growth. So these are the main features of phytohormones. They are organic substances produced naturally, control growth and other physiological functions at a site which is away from the place of synthesis. Okay, away from the place of synthesis. Next, we have learned that hormones are active in small concentration. They are active in small concentration, and they are capable of influencing promotion, inhibition, modification of growth. Now let's move on to 5 major phytohormones. 5 major plant hormones. What are they? Let's look at the names. First one is auxin, second cytokinin, third gibberellin, fourth ethylene, and fifth abscisic acid. The names must be very confusing for you because you are listening it for the first time. You are hearing it for the first time. But after a few days, these names are very familiar, will be very familiar to you. So the names of the hormones are auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, ethylene and abscisic acids. Now here a major twist is here, that among these 5 hormones, some are growth promoting and some are growth inhibitors. Now you have learned the term promotion and inhibition. I have already discussed, but for your convenience, I am again discussing what is promotion. Promotion means to help in growth, that is promotion, and inhibition means to stop the growth. Inhibition means to stop the growth. So among these 5 major hormones, there are some hormones which are helping in growth and some are actually stopping the growth. So what are they? So we are having 2 categories. First one, growth promoting hormones. Second one, growth inhibiting hormones. Some are growth promoter, some are growth inhibitors. Now, what are those hormones which promotes growth? They are auxin, cytokinin and gibberellin. That means the first three are the growth promoting hormones. And ethylene and abscisic acids are growth inhibitors. They actually slower the growth portion of plant. I will discuss it later on. First, we are having growth promoting hormone, the hormones which promote growth in plants. Okay. So, among the list, the first one is what? Auxin. The function of auxin are actually germinating seeds. Auxin helps in germination of seeds. Now, germination of seeds means when the seed is germinating, that means it is giving birth to a new plant. That means it is promoting the growth of the seeds. The seed will be growing to a full-fledged plant. So the germinating seeds is the main function of auxin. Next, the growth of stem tips, root tips, leaves and leaf buds. In these places, auxin can be found. That means in stem tips. Why in stem tips? Because the stem should be elongated and the root also should be elongated. That is why auxin is there in stem tips and root tips also, because it should be elongated. Because root should be going towards the water and the stem should be growing towards the light and air and everything. That is why auxin is promoting growth. It is promoting the growth of the stem and root, being there at root tips and stem tips. In leaves also there is auxin, because leaves should be grown also. In leaf buds, that means the buds just in the corner of leaves, that will give rise to a new leaf. That is why auxin is there to promote the growth of a new leaf. So auxin is there in germinating seeds, in stem tips, in root tips, in leaves and leaf buds. Now, dominance of terminal buds. What is the function? What are the function of auxin? Dominance of terminal buds, elongation of stem cells, as I have told you. Why it is in stem tips? Because the portion should be elongated, and that elongation is done by the hormone auxin, which is promoting growth. Growth of lateral roots. Lateral roots is like this only. These roots are lateral roots. So, auxin is promoting the growth of lateral roots also. That is why it is at the tips of the roots. Production of female flowers. If there is no flower, there would not be any fruit also in plant. So, production of female flowers is also the main function of auxin. So, first one is auxin, the first hormone. We have discussed the position of auxin, where actually auxin is accumulated, and the function of auxin. Okay. Now let's move on to cytokinin. And in auxin you have already seen that yes, it is promoting the growth. It is promoting the growth. That is why auxin is the first hormone in the list of growth promoting hormones in plant. Second one is cytokinin. Now cytokinin is produced at the tips of the root and transported through xylem to different parts of the plant. Cytokinin is produced at the tips of the root. As auxin, it is also produced at the tips of the roots, and then through xylem it will transport it to different parts of the plant. It is organic substances, so it will be transported through the xylem tissues of roots, through the xylem tissues of the root to every part of the plant. Why it should be transported? Because if it is transported, it should be accumulated away from the site of synthesis. The main point of plant hormone is the function, physiological function at a site away from the place of synthesis. So it is synthesized at the root of at the tip of the root, but it must be transported to the other part of plant where it will function. So that is why it is synthesized in the tip of the roots, and then through xylem tissues it will be transported to the different parts of the plant, and it helps in accelerating cell growth, cell division, germination of seeds, preventing dropping of flowers. So let's start with the first point, accelerating cell growth. Now what is acceleration? Acceleration means the positive inhibition, positive growth. That means it is promoting, it is fasting, making fast the cell growth. The fast cell growth is done by cytokinin. It is helping to make faster the cell growth, to make the cell growth faster. That is the function of cytokinin. Why faster cell growth is required? If the cell growth is not faster, how can we get a plant, full-fledged plant from a seed within a week or 2-3 weeks? Because as the the cell growth is so much faster, that is why we are having a full-fledged plant from a seeds. So this acceleration of cell growth is done by cytokinin, the second plant hormone. Next, it is helping in cell division. Obviously it will help in cell division because it is accelerating cell growth. Without cell division, it can't accelerate the cell growth. Germination of seeds, as I have said in auxin also, the function of auxin is germination of seeds. Next, preventing dropping of flowers. That means it is holding the flowers in the branch. Otherwise, the dropping of flower means the plant is losing one fruit, because without flower there won't be any fruit. So if the flower is dropped from the plant, then it is losing a fruit, seed also. That means it is losing the reproduction rate, because with seed only we can have so many other same type of plants. So that is why preventing and dropping of flowers is done by cytokinin. It is holding the flower in branch. So we have discussed the main two hormones which are growth promoting. They are promoting the growth. Now, let's move on to next hormone, that is gibberellin. It is found in germinating seeds again, embryo, buds, tender leaves, stem and root tips. All the three hormones which are promoting growth, you must have noticed that they are actually found in the tips of roots and stems. Why? Because these two portions are the mostly growing parts of plant. These two parts are actually growing so fast in plant. So gibberellin is found in germinating seeds, as we have seen in auxin and cytokinin also. Embryo, buds, because buds should be grown. So that is why in buds also. Tender leaves, because tender leaves should be grown to a full grown leaf. Stem and root tips. Now, what is the function of gibberellin? Breaking down of stored food in germinating seeds. In germinating seeds, there actually the food of that baby plant is stored in germinating seeds. So in seeds, so that stored food, the food that is stored for the baby plant, breaking down of that stored food, when the food will be broken down, then only baby plant can utilize it. So in that case, gibberellin is helping in growing the baby plant. So breaking down of stored food in germinating seeds, sprouting of leaves, that means from buds. From buds, sprouting of the leaves is done by gibberellin. Elongation of stem cells. It is very obvious. The stem cells should be elongated. Otherwise, we can't have a full grown plant or tree. So elongation of stem cells is done by gibberellin. Cell division and cell growth. That is also very obvious. Without cell division, cell growth can't be done, and when cell growth is not there, the plant can't be grown. So that is why these three hormones are growth promoting hormone. They are promoting the growth in plants. Now let's move on to growth inhibiting hormones. That means the hormones which are slowing down the growth. How? First one is in this list, ethylene. It is produced in roots. Ethylene is produced in roots and diffused to other parts of the plant. By diffusion, it is circulated to the other parts of the plant. Prevent cell division, causes maturation and ripening of leaves and fruit. Prevents cell division. That means it stops the cell division. Why? Why it is actually helping in stopping cell division? Because after some time the cell division should be stopped. Otherwise, you can't have ripe fruit. That means you can't have the mature cell. That is why inhibition is also needed in plant, because maturation of cells, maturation of the plant parts is also needed. That is why ethylene is promoting the inhibition. It is preventing the cell division, causes maturation and ripening of leaves and fruits. If the old leaves won't be fallen, then we can't have a new leaf in the plant. So to have a new leaf which will function more actively, the old leaves should be fallen. and that job is done by ethylene. It is helping in maturation and ripening of leaves and fruits. Next is Abscisic acid. It is produced in mature leaves and transported to plant parts. It is produced in mature leaves and transported to plant parts. Prevents cell division, cell growth, causes dropping of mature leaves and ripe fruits, help in dormancy of seeds and buds. That means prevent cell division, because if the cell division will be going on, we can't have the mature cell. That is why abscisic acid is preventing the cell division, any cell growth, and causes dropping of mature leaves. If the fruit is not mature, not ripe, we can't eat that fruit because it should be dropped from the tree. Otherwise you can't have that fruit to eat. So that is why it is promoting the dropping of mature leaves and ripe fruits. Helps in dormancy of seeds and buds. It is helping in dormancy of seeds and buds. So these two are the growth inhibitors, which is also very much needed in plants. There is a general thought process that the hormones must be promoting the growth only, but the other side is also there. There should be some hormone which will stop the growth of cell, which will actually prevent the cell division or cell growth, so that we can have the mature leaves, the mature plant, the mature fruit. Otherwise the main function of plant will be disturbed. So that is why naturally, with the rules of nature, plants are having both types of hormones. The first three are promoting the growth and second two are inhibiting the growth. So this is all about the plant hormones. Let's have a quick recap. We are having organic substances produced naturally in plants which control the growth and other physiological function at a site away from the place of synthesis. This is called phytohormones or plant hormones. They are active in small concentration. They are capable of influencing promotion, inhibition, modification of growth. We are having 5 major plant hormones here. Among the list, there are growth promoting hormones as well as growth inhibiting hormones. Growth promoting hormones are auxin, cytokinin and gibberellin, and growth inhibiting hormones are ethylene and abscisic acids, and both are very much needed in a plant body. So this is all about plant hormones. This is the control in growth and other physiological activities of plants. This is the way, this is the procedure, this is those substances which are actually responsible for this control. So this is all about plant hormones or phytohormones. In my next session, I will discuss something more interesting. Till then, bye. Have a good day.